And it's about time we address the situation and begin to get back to you. We hold the candle like vigil for your self-respect. Let's be taken and destroyed by what you can expect to be. The faceless in between. Because I know you can handle it. To face the truth of the matter, it's still so much better to leave the light than drag it to your grave. Because you see what to make of this. How you can turn your own tables and work this. And take advantage of your failure like you plan to anyway. And it's about time we address the situation and begin to get back.
This program is a collaboration of personal opinions and individual free thought. It does not represent the views or narrative of the mainstream corporate media hacks. Viewer discretion is advised.
And here we go.
Live from the bell tower, taking a stand for your rights, your liberties, and all the bullshit in between. You're listening to Break the Bell Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is Monday night. Welcome back to the live edition of the Break the Bell Podcast.
Hello, beautiful bell breakers.
You shoved that way a little. Your face is like you're like hiding behind our logo there, and everybody just sees.
I got a gangster lean.
It's like your shoulder is talking to the camera. I don't know. Maybe the camera moved. Maybe you moved. I don't know. But
I was leaning. I had a serious lean going.
You did have a serious lean, and it looks sweet, except when we have all this logo shit in our way, and you're just like, "Hey, check out my sweet shoulder over here." So it doesn't look as sweet from that angle. How you doing, Bill?
I'm good. I'm good. How about you?
I am great. We are finally here. We are doing this. I thought things were going to be a mess because I lost my USB adapter, and I don't have nearly enough USB ports on my laptop. So I was like, I need everybody, all hands on deck. We need to find this because this podcast will not go on without that USB adapter, because it also doubles as my network adapter too.
Gotcha.
So it could have been interesting, but we're here. Knock on wood. The virus pop-ups are gone. I cleared that away.
Very
So there's no more Chinese hackers that I'm aware of. At least they're being quiet.
They're better.
If you're gonna hack my computer or have a virus, just at least be quiet.
Yeah.
I don't care what you do. Just be quiet
Yeah.
and don't slow down my computer. You can steal all the information you want, because shit, if you want to steal my identity and all this like 3 nickels in my bank account, that's fine. But don't pop up sounds during my podcast. And don't slow down my system during when I'm trying to use it.
That's pretty low maintenance.
I know. I'm not asking much of a hacker for real, or a computer virus for real. I mean, do whatever. Just don't inconvenience me while you do it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like if you want to rob me, just don't beat the shit out of me while you do it. Just ask me, and I'll probably give you my wallet. That's fine.
Yeah. It's like, okay, if you think you can do something with this.
Yeah, here, have this card, because if you can find money on it, great. Let me know. How's everybody doing out there? Hopefully you're all having a great week. The week just started, but it's been a week, so hopefully
It has been.
Hopefully you've had a good week.
Yes.
I had a really busy weekend.
Yeah.
Lots of work, lots of driving and stuff. So
Yeah.
but I'm here. We made it.
Yes, we did. So, and what does it say about our lifestyle when we're like, oh, it's Monday?
Yeah. Oh, I can relax. It's Monday night.
Right.
The most relaxing time I can have is podcasting, is talking nonstop for 2 freaking hours
Right.
after spending the last 4 hours writing. So, but I love it. I enjoy it. I hope you do too. I hope you
I do.
people still
I
enjoy
do.
listening. So,
I look forward to it.
tonight we have an interesting topic. Did you ever think that balloons would dominate the media as much as they have this week?
No,
balloons.
not since they did the It remake, right? And
Oh,
people
yeah,
would like
yeah.
randomly leave like red balloons floating across the field and
Oh
stuff.
yeah, there's that. Then like what was it, the Hindenburg?
Yeah,
Which
yep,
that
the
wasn't even a balloon,
Hindenburg.
that was a blimp. So
Right.
not quite
Yeah.
the same thing.
The 80s hit 99 red balloons.
I don't know what that was. What was it about?
99 red balloons. I'm sure it had a deeper meaning. It was I think she was German. So maybe it had something to do with like the Holocaust. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. There's probably a deeper meaning, but it's a catchy tune.
If you know what
It's really
99
happy-go-lucky.
a hit about 99 I mean, anything can happen these days, I guess, because like the whole news cycle and social media has been dominated by balloons this
Right.
week. So I guess
Yeah.
it's possible.
Nice little break from the war.
Yeah. Well, maybe the start of a new war. I don't
Right.
know. I mean,
Yeah.
the possibilities are endless here, and
There
we're
are.
going to talk about all of them, from weather balloons to the possibility of like nuclear payloads
Right.
and shit like
Yes.
that. I mean,
Yeah.
the problem is we don't know what this shit
Right.
is.
Yeah.
And if they do know, they're not telling us. And the government response seems to be such a big head scratch.
Right.
And it's just like,
It's
how the
almost
fuck
like-
did we let this thing go all the way across the
Right.
United States before we decided to do something?
Well, it's almost like a GW reading children's books during 9/11 moment, right? It's like, oh yeah, there is a spy balloon. You're right.
Let me.
Yep.
Yep. So we're gonna watch it. You know, Biden went out there. It was like, oh, a balloon. It's so pretty.
Yeah.
It's like, don't pop the balloon.
Yeah.
He's probably like the little kid that loses a balloon and
Right.
starts crying over
Yeah.
it. That was Joe
I
Biden.
remember that balloon. I remember I
Yes.
was 8. It was the fair.
So we're gonna get into all the things related to the Chinese spy balloon. And I told you last night I texted you and it's like, we're gonna talk about Chinese balloons tomorrow, and you're like, seriously? I was like, absolutely. I can make a 2-hour show
Yeah.
out of a Chinese spy balloon.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
I
have
could
no
make a
doubt
2-hour
about
hour show out of any topic.
Well, no, I know, and we've proven that.
Yes.
But after looking into it, it's like, yeah, there's so many different like opinions and theories on this thing.
And hysteria,
Yeah. Yeah.
like mass, like
Right.
especially from the political side, like the Republican side. It's just like, well, what if and I don't want to give away
Yeah.
spoilers, but it's just like, well, there's possibly this on it, and it's just
Yeah.
like, why the fuck would you say that?
Right. Yeah. Right.
It's like, did you think about the possibility of killer swarms of mosquitoes being released? Well, I didn't until you
Yeah,
suggested
right.
that, but
Because
now
who
I
does
am.
that?
But now I'm thinking about it. So we're going to get into all those things after this little pre-show banter. We're going to talk all things Chinese spy balloon related, which you never would have guessed there were so many
No,
things,
no.
but we'll get into all of them. Get into like some of the history of balloon warfare, which I never thought I would talk about
No.
balloon warfare,
Yes,
but it's a thing. It's real.
it is. Yes.
We'll get into all that stuff. So before we do, obviously we got to say, check us out all over social media, because we're all over social media.
We are.
And I mean, what a better thing to do than check us out on social media. If you're listening to us or watching us, wherever you're listening, we're on, we stream live to Facebook and YouTube both. Go like, subscribe, smack that share button, all those things down in this about this general area that the kids tell you to do. Smash the like, smash the subscribe, all those things. Share us far and wide across the universe, because that's how we get our names out there, and that's how we can become bigger and better and get the fame that we want so badly. And that's the reason why we started this, was for fame.
Yes.
And it's not working out for us yet. So you need to do your part and make us famous, because on a scale of 1 to 10 of fame, we're at about a 7, and we want to be a 10.
Would you really give us 7?
Being positive here.
Okay.
Positive.
All right.
You see, the people that might listen in the future don't want to come on and be like, well, these guys are nobodies. We want
That's
to make
true.
them think we're
There were
a little-
7s.
elevate ourselves
Okay.
a little bit. It's kind of like a Tinder profile. You never say, dude, I'm ugly, but I got a great personality. You never say shit like that.
That's
No.
true. That's true.
So we got to talk about butter ourselves up a little
Okay.
bit. So that way they want to get a little bit more.
Yeah,
So
solid 7. We're
Yes.
we're up there with Kathy Griffin.
oh God, you can find links to all our social media at our website www.breakthebellpod.com, and you can find links to our merch store where you can get kick-ass merch like this shit that you see here, like the I Won't Eat Your Bug shirt. I need to come up with a new shirt because we've had the same ones
we
for a
got
while.
the tanks 100
100 thanks are not 100 tanks.
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't designed that one yet. The We Are Not Your Pawn shirt. We've got some logo merch. We've got some cups, and there used to be face masks. I gotta
that's
check.
right.
I gotta check up
Yeah.
on that and see if we still got the COVID masks or not. So
Yeah.
T-shirts, all kinds of stuff. So check that out. That's at breakthebellpod.com, or direct link to our merch store is breakthebell.bigcartel.com. Buy our shit, make your friends jealous, and be better than them.
I saw a study today that said 75% of people that still wear masks are ugly.
75% of people, 100% of people that still wear masks are fucking stupid. That's my take on
No,
it. So
I agree with that.
we're gonna get right into this intro video, and when we return, we're gonna talk about some Chinese spy balloons.
Yes, that sounds like it should be like a rock band.
It should. It will be soon.
Yes.
We'll be right back after this brief video. Goodbye.
What did you say?
You talking to me?
What the heck are you talking about?
What did you say?
What did you say? What did you say?
Are you talking to me?
Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
What did you say?
What did you say?
Are you talking to me?
Well, maybe he was talking to me.
What'd you say?
Talk to me.
What in heaven's name are you talking about?
Talk to me, baby.
Did you just say?
What did you say?
You listen to me. Are you talking to me?
Are you talking to me?
What the hell are you talking about?
Who are you talking to?
Bill, you're leaning again.
I'm sorry. It's my natural gangsterness.
We're back. Now there used to be this band. It was kind of I don't even know what you call it. It was similar to like Jet, similar to that style back in the day. I can't even think of the name of the band now, but they had a song called "Bombs Over Brooklyn," and it's a fantastic song. You should go listen to it. But I feel like there should be a remake of the song and be like "Balloons Over Montana" or something. It just doesn't roll off the tongue like "Bombs
It
Over
doesn't sound
Brooklyn."
as
though.
cool, that's for sure. Yes.
But somebody needs to write a song about balloons over Montana.
Bombs over Baghdad.
No, over Brooklyn.
Okay,
Bombs over Brooklyn.
there we go. Big data.
No, that's not it.
Oh.
No, keep trying. Keep trying and I'll talk. But Bill, in 2023, I got to ask you this. In 2023, first of all, we think about like foreign sabotage, foreign spying, and warfare and shit.
Yes.
We tend to think that it's going to be carried out in such like advanced technological ways that we couldn't possibly like comprehend it ourselves.
right,
So, you
right.
know, like
Yeah.
hacking, like they talk about like cyber warfare now. Like, well, the modern World War III is going to be cyber. It's all going to be cyber, shutting down like the power grids, shutting
Yeah.
down, hacking into the food chains. I mean, we talked about that a lot
Oh, yeah.
last year
Yeah.
with like a lot of the hackings into like food plants and things like that and supply chains. Never in my life would I have thought that modern warfare would include bombs, or not bombs, balloons.
Yes.
Balloons, bombs, obviously, but not
Yes.
balloons.
Yes.
Like it's so like rudimentary. It's
Right.
almost genius.
I was
when you think
just
about
gonna
it.
say, yeah. I mean, the simplicity of it is genius.
It is. It's like, well, everybody's out there looking for the hacker. Everybody's out there looking for like hypersonic
Right.
missiles and stuff. Nobody's fucking looking for balloons.
Right? Yes.
So it's like if you're gonna do something, do that. Like something that nobody's gonna think about. Like, it's like, rowing a rowboat in and just like dropping, like blowing some, just like it's always the least suspected thing that ends up like bringing down an entire country. It's kind of like the Trojan horse, It's just like, well, first of all, why did they think that this big wooden horse was just a gift of generosity?
Yeah.
But still, it's just like never would have thought of shoving like a bunch of soldiers in a giant wooden horse, and that brought.
No, do you think China would have gotten a better reaction? They're like, no, that's for you. It's for your birthday coming up.
It's birthday balloons. Yeah. It's birthday.
We got like 500 we're sending over to you.
Oh, God. So, as I said, late last week, the whole country went on alert, kind of on alert. I don't know if you'd call it on alert.
Like, were you like, oh, shit, and like loading shit up?
Well, that was my, no. Well, that was my first question to you. It's like, what was your thought when you first heard there's a balloon, a Chinese spy balloon drifting over Montana?
Yeah, I guess I just kind of ignored it.
Just kind of blew it off.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, okay, well,
It's like, all right. I mean, that's weird.
I mean, let's be honest. Okay, this is China. Okay, and with all the technology that they have over here, right? I mean,
already,
we're in the camera industry. We know that there's been brands that are not allowed.
Yeah, I had an example of that when a guy got a new phone and couldn't download that app on his phone off Google Play because it just doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
So he's got this camera system that he can't access anymore because the U.S. said no more China crap.
Exactly, and they've been talking about TikTok for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And so
that's the other thing. I've seen this blasted all over social media. It's like you're worried about a Chinese spy balloon, but you're posting videos about it on Chinese spy TikTok.
Right. So so I saw it and I was just like, okay, well, I mean, okay.
What do you think? All these people. Derek Ambrose is here. He says, just got here. I think the balloon was a gender reveal gone wrong. I've seen so many of those gone wrong. You see like people die from gender reveals.
I know.
They have like explosives, pyrotechnics that like explode in dad's
It wasn't
face.
even a thing when I had kids.
No,
right?
No, it's just like, hey, we have a kid.
Yeah.
Hey,
actually,
it's a
we
boy.
didn't even want to know what it was. We were like, we wanted a surprise.
But I mean, it's a white balloon. What is
I
that?
know.
What's that reveal?
Well, it's trans.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Now, what was I saying? TikTok. Yeah, I've seen it all over social media. I was gonna say, what do you think? Like the Chinese spies that are spying on us through TikTok, they see all these videos that blow. They're like, we did it! Hooray!
Yeah, they're like,
look how we're trending. We're trending on TikTok. We did it.
Yeah, yep.
These
It
dumbass
works.
Americans. I mean, it could be something of them just gauging our public response through the social media that they're spying on. And we'll get into all that stuff. It's just like, wow, 18 billion United States people, which isn't a thing, but 18 million US TikTok users all posted a video of our balloon.
Right. Yeah.
So it worked. We got a response.
And I mean,
and they don't take it seriously.
Right. But I mean, and if you think about it from technology, they could actually take the trajectory of the balloon and place it with the videos and when they were put on TikTok and probably create a pretty accurate picture of
the profile of where you live.
Yes.
Now they know.
Yes. Thank you for posting. We know where you live now.
Yeah. I don't know. They're probably tracking your location too through your phone. So
I'm sure.
I don't know. It's just weird. A spy balloon from China that's dominating the news.
Yeah.
And like you said, my first response was just like, well, that's weird. Okay. Next. So I just kind of I mean, I didn't blow it off, but it was just like, I'll just store that in the back of my head because there's probably something there, but
it didn't pop as like an immediately like a red flag, like, oh shit, or something like
it's
that.
Like, we'll see where this goes.
Yeah, right.
My next thought was why haven't we shot this thing down?
Right.
I mean, and that went through the news cycle over and over, but one of my initial thoughts was, how hard is it to fucking shoot down a balloon?
It's a fucking balloon. What, if it wasn't so high up there, people from Montana would be shooting at it.
Yeah, I hadn't heard how high up it was.
Yeah.
I was just like, can't you just like get out a sniper rifle and shoot? I mean,
yeah,
you pop it, it's gone. I mean, it's pretty rudimentary,
right? Yeah,
to say the least. So let's just take a look at this starting out. Let's just get right into this shit because I got more stuff to talk about than you probably even thought we would have to talk about this balloon.
When you said we were talking about it, I assumed.
Yes. You're like, there's no way you can talk. wait, it's you. Yes, there is a way. You'll find a way. So this is from Fox News. This was posted on the 3rd, so Friday. It says Chinese spy balloon enters U.S. airspace. What we know. It says the Chinese spy balloon was intentional, according to U.S. officials. So this, like I said, is as of last Friday. So
This is like first preliminary.
yeah, first
reactions.
reporting. Yes. First news on the ground.
Yeah.
Says the U.S. has detected a Chinese balloon craft currently flying over the United States, potentially sparking a major diplomatic incident ahead of a now canceled visit by Secretary of State Antony. They spelled his name wrong. Antony. Antony Blinken is what they're trying
Yes.
to spell, but apparently they
It-
fired their
it's-
proofreaders.
It's Fox News and they don't care.
Yes. Now it says. Now think about that. Sparking a major diplomatic incident. Of all the things that have
Yeah.
gone on between China
Right,
and the
right.
United States,
This
A
is the deal
balloon.
breaker.
a balloon is what
Yeah.
sparked an international diplomatic
I
incident.
actually read an article that said that they thought that the U.S. government allowed this to happen so Blinken couldn't go over there.
Well, yeah, that's I'd read that too. Like, some people were like, basically saying China is going to use this as propaganda. Like, our diplomat goes there, but before China's diplomat comes here, it's like we're
Yeah.
their bitches, pretty much. They
Right.
come cowering to us, and well, this just foiled their propaganda plans
Right.
because now Blinken's not going over there. So, but yeah, and now we do got to look at this at a few different angles. Yes, it is just a balloon. It's just a fucking balloon, but
Yes.
it is an adversary invading our airspace,
Right. Yeah.
our sovereign airspace. So, I mean,
Right.
you can get a balloon over here. What else can you
Right.
get over here? And what
Well-
again? Then there's the question: what potentially could this balloon be holding?
Well, and that's just it. I mean, with technology today, right? With the microscopic technology that they can have with cameras or mapping systems, who knows what they're trying
Mhm.
to pick up, right?
Right. So, and we'll get into all that stuff. It says, when was it detected? The Pentagon announced Thursday it had detected the craft flying over the continental U.S. A State Department official said Friday that once it was detected, the government acted immediately to protect against the collection of sensitive information. What are they doing to protect it?
Get out the tinfoil. Go,
Yeah.
go, go.
Yeah, what? Because first of all, they don't know what they're collecting,
Right.
how they're collecting it. How are they acting immediately to protect against that collection?
Right.
Like, are they putting up some sort of signal jammers? Or are they putting tinfoil over it?
Right.
Are they shutting off their computer? Like, what
Yeah.
are they protecting? Because if
Right.
it's just like mapping, like nuclear bases and stuff, what are you doing? Putting like a freaking umbrella over
Right.
it, or like here, hide it under all these freaking
Right.
I don't know. I don't know what their thought was, but apparently they acted immediately to protect against
Right.
collection of sensitive information.
Which again leads to the point where they don't care what they get on you.
Just the sensitive information.
Right.
The United States government has detected and is tracking a high altitude surveillance balloon that is over the continental U.S. right now. All right. So first question I had, I guess, was this. When they announced it, they immediately said it's a Chinese surveillance balloon. How did they know that? How did they?
Yeah,
Did
there was no markings.
Yeah, it's just a white. From
Yeah.
what you can see in the pictures, it's just a white balloon.
Yeah.
It's like not like we are China or like a
Right.
Chinese flag or
Yeah,
something.
right.
Did they look at it like, yeah, based on the shape and the
Yeah.
material and
Like,
that?
It says it's made in China.
Oh no, that's ours. That's
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
ours. No, it probably says like made in the U.S. or
Yeah,
something.
right. Yeah, made in Philadelphia.
Says the U.S. government, including NORAD, continues to track and monitor closely. The balloon is currently traveling at an altitude well above commercial air traffic and does not present a military or physical threat to people on the ground, said the Pentagon.
So that's fucking up there.
It is way
So
up. It was
how
like
does- how did
60,000
somebody
feet.
even see it though?
Well, I mean, there's videos of people on the ground that saw just like a little white dot. They're like, "There's the moon. What the fuck's that?" This thing was, they predicted it was about roughly 90 feet in diameter,
Oh shit.
roughly 3 school buses in diameter is what
Okay.
they're saying. So it's a big fucking balloon.
Right, right.
Yeah. So like my first thought was, what's a balloon going to do? A 90-foot balloon that could carry quite a bit potentially, I would think.
Right.
And the fact is this: at the time, at least the government was saying, we don't know what they're doing up
Right.
there. But then the White House comes out and they're like, it doesn't present a military or physical threat. How do you know that?
Right. Yeah.
It's a 90-foot fucking
Yeah.
balloon that could carry anything.
Right. Like you said,
Anything.
3 school buses. I can think
Yes.
of a lot of shit to fit into 3 school buses.
Right. And they're just like, oh, it doesn't pose a threat. How do you know? It could
Yeah.
drop literally anything.
I was
right
gonna say,
now.
and from that height, you could drop a screw and it would kill somebody.
Right, exactly. A well-placed senior U.S. official told Fox News that the government has been tracking the balloon for some time and said it entered the U.S. airspace a couple days ago.
So they tracked it as it came into airspace, right?
Yes.
Through Alaska, from what I read.
Yeah, it supposedly
So-
came in through Alaska, across Canada, into like
Yeah.
Idaho, Montana region. So they've been tracking it this whole time over like desolate Canada.
Yeah.
And they're but they're like, as soon as we detected it, what did that say? It says once it was detected, the government acted immediately. No, you let that thing freaking travel
Right.
for days
Yeah.
before you're just like, oh yeah, there's a
Yeah,
balloon.
It made
right
it
there.
through Alaska and Canada before somebody called out in Montana.
My thought is they probably tracked it since it took off in China. That's
Oh,
how they knew it was.
absolutely.
How else would they know it was China
Yeah.
so quick? Supposedly so
Right.
quickly.
Right.
No, they probably saw it take off and they're like, let's see where that thing
Yeah.
goes. What's that doing? I don't know. Let's just track it and find out. And it traveled and they're like, oh, it's in Alaska now. So that was over, first of all, US
And-
territory.
And it's funny because in this day and age, you would think that they'd go first. Like you said, they had to be tracking it. Otherwise, they would have been like, well, shit, that could be a UFO.
Yeah. Well, you'd think they would get ahead of it before it made its
Well,
way to the
yeah,
United States. And they're like, we probably should take that thing down.
Yes.
I mean, it's getting close to Alaska. Maybe we should just shoot it down
Yeah,
now.
right.
No, somebody in there was like, let's see how this plays out.
Yeah.
Let's just see, because this could spark
Right.
an international incident.
Yeah, right.
And then we might have to go to some sort of war with China.
Yeah. I mean, do you think it would have been as big a deal? They're like, hey, we shot down a spy balloon before it entered the U.S. airspace.
I would be like, cool, you shot down a
Exact-
fucking spy
I'm
balloon.
pretty sure. I think it was maybe in the 60s where China shot down a U.S. spy craft.
Yeah.
Airplane.
I mean, that's what countries do when
Right,
spy crafts
yes.
enter their sovereign space.
Yes.
They shoot them the fuck
Yes.
down.
It doesn't matter if it's a plane or a balloon,
Yeah.
right?
It says the airship is from China. Oh, here we go. The Chinese Communist regime on Friday admitted the balloon was Chinese.
Oh,
So
okay.
like, but I think they said it before this came.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, that's ours. But said it was a civilian research craft that was blown far off course by prevailing winds. That's really fucking far.
Okay. And again, this is China. Okay. Is there a civilian company not tied to the government in China? No, they're all owned by the
Oh, yeah.
Chinese government.
Yeah, like every business there,
Yes.
every civilian business is
So-
ran by the Chinese
So,
Communist Party.
yes.
Derek Ambrose says, I just want to know how much the balloon cost to fill. 9 cubic feet of helium is about $30. 3 school buses have to hold a metric buttload of helium. We should have captured it and harvested it for helium. That is a
Fuck
really
yes.
fucking good idea.
That is a great idea.
I mean, we could have been
Yes.
like thousandaires at least.
A collective highness of the United States.
Oh my God. Yeah. Everybody will just have a big helium party sucking helium for our own
You know what?
benefits.
2020 to 2022 just got better.
The airship is from China. It's a civilian airship used for research, mainly meteorological purposes, affected by the westerlies, or like western winds,
Oh,
like
gotcha.
strong western winds. I don't
Sure.
know if you felt the winds out there lately, but
Yeah,
imagine what they
well,
are
they're always
60,000
high.
feet
Right.
in the air.
Yeah. Right.
It says affected by the westerlies with limited self-steering capability, the airship deviated far from its planned course. The Chinese side regrets the unintended entry of airship into the U.S. airspace due to forced majeure. I don't know what majeure is. The Chinese side will continue communicating with the U.S. side and properly handle this unexpected situation caused by forced majeure. Look up the word majeure.
How do you spell it?
Majeure. They said it twice, which means it has to be true. Every time they repeat the line twice,
That's
especially
true.
in a government, you
Yes.
know it's got to be true.
MAJURE.
Eure. A senior official told Fox News the balloon was launched from mainland China, and the Pentagon does not believe it was a weather balloon that flew off course. This was intentional, a senior U.S. official told Fox News.
Unforeseeable circumstances.
Oh, so why couldn't they just say that?
Yes, or irresistible force.
Mm.
Okay, so or wind.
Or wind. All right. Fox is told that it is a bold decision by a government to fly an aircraft over U.S. territory, and the U.S. does not fly spy planes or balloons over mainland China. That they're willing to admit is the
Exactly.
caveat they should put in there.
Right.
It says U.S. does not shoot down the balloon despite GOP calls. We'll get into that stuff.
Yes.
We'll get into all that,
There's a lot
the
of that.
response and stuff. But that's the facts of the matter. All right,
Yes.
here's the image from the ground. This is what people could see, that tiny little dot there. But it still raised the question, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
That's not supposed to be there.
Right. Would you have noticed something like that? I mean, if you were walking like down the street,
I may have. I noticed there was something. I think it ended up being a balloon in the sky
okay.
that actually caught my attention because it was like kind of drifting all weird. I was like, all right, what the fuck is that? And I was just like, that's got to be a UFO. Just by the way, it was like maneuvering and stuff.
Yeah.
And I took a video of it, and it was on an old phone. I wish I still had that.
You know,
but
I think I remember you doing that.
yeah, I think I sent
yeah.
it to you. I
Yeah.
was like, what the hell is
Yeah.
this shit? I think I concluded maybe it was a balloon, but
Yes.
maybe that's just our natural response to things. It's
Right.
oh, it's a balloon.
Right, yeah.
I mean, look at like Roswell.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously it's a balloon. Which raises so many more questions about this. It's
Right.
always a weather balloon. So China says this is a weather balloon, and the U.S. is like, no, that's not a weather balloon because that's
Right.
way too fucking
Yeah,
big.
we've seen fucking weather balloons.
We've seen so many fucking weather balloons. Because like the Time report, the Chinese balloon looks nothing like a weather balloon, according to experts. It's way too fucking big, is what they're saying. Be a weather balloon.
Okay.
It says, because this is the one that says it's like at least 90 feet wide. Yeah, and it's because it says the majority of weather balloons, all weather balloons in all countries basically are the same. It's like the
They're
same
like uniform?
basic technology,
Okay.
and they're all about 20 feet in diameter. Once they get to like reach their max height, they expand as they get into like the thinner atmosphere,
Okay.
and they're only about roughly 20 feet in diameter. And this one is about 90 feet wide, like I said. And the size of what that shit was carrying was way too big
Yeah.
to be just weather.
Right. It looked like a satellite or some
It
shit.
did. And that actually cracked me up. It's like maybe China wanted to have some sort of satellite technology, but they didn't have the equipment to get it into space. So they're like, just strap that shit to a balloon. We'll just carry it around. So
Yeah, it says weather balloons are typically 6 feet wide,
6. So this one
or
says
can expand up to 20 feet
There
in
you go.
diameter as they rise.
yes.
Huh.
So can we call it like what's it carrying basically? Can we use the word payload without people like freaking the fuck out?
I mean,
I mean, you can have
yeah,
a payload
yeah.
without it being explosive,
Right.
but there is potential that possibly maybe it's explosives. I
Right.
mean, can we rule that out that it's explosives? A
No,
90-foot fucking
right.
balloon?
No, not at all.
So it's like if it's not a weather balloon, as China
Yeah.
is calling it, which of course they would. They're not going to be like, oh yeah, our spy balloon drifted way off course.
Right.
We're sorry. No, the first thing they're going to say is, oh, it's a fucking weather balloon.
And-
Hey, it worked for Roswell. It's going to work here.
And again, this it's not like these guys. This is Canada. I mean, this is a nation that we consider hostile to
Mhm.
us, right?
Even a weather balloon, I think we should be concerned.
Absolutely. Yes, a freaking frisbee. I would be concerned.
Mhm. China launched a frisbee that landed in California. Should we? Yes, you should be concerned. Who the fuck threw that frisbee? First of
Right,
all,
because we need to be concerned of him.
yes, he's got a killer arm. So, what are the possibilities? What would you say the possibilities are?
Like I said, there's all kinds. I mean, it could be some kind of imaging, where they're like maybe like looking underground for some kind of facilities.
Mhm.
I mean, it could be mapping the area. It could be, it could have, EMP. I mean, nukes. It could have spy cameras all over it.
Yeah.
I mean, that much space. It could be fucking anything.
Now, the U.S. says it's a spy balloon.
Right.
So, like, what the fuck's it spying on? First of
Yeah.
all, what can a balloon do that a satellite can't
Yeah.
already do? Well, like what can you see from this balloon that you can't see on Google Earth? I guess.
Right.
Like you can just pull up Google Earth and be like, oh, there's the
valid
new
point. Valid
nuclear
point.
facility.
Yeah.
Now I read into this, and apparently the benefits of a balloon over a satellite are that a balloon can stop in a spot and scan like in real time and like
Okay.
scan for prolonged times when a satellite has to keep moving. So in
Okay.
order to get real time of like one specific area, you have to have like
No.
like several satellites crossing paths over the same
Right.
spot to get
And that makes
that
sense.
image. So
So-
there's that.
But
that-
did the balloon ever just stop and stay in space for a period of time, or was
no,
it
but I think
constantly
it's moving a lot slower than a satellite would, so
Okay.
it could pick up a lot more,
Right.
especially filming at like 120 frames per
Yeah.
second or something. You could pick up a lot more than a satellite that's blasting
Right.
by at like 120,000
Right,
miles
right.
per hour or something like
I mean,
that.
I had read that the maneuverability of the balloon was just basically up and down.
Now, I read that it's possibly better than that. I read, well, if you think about it, you could put like, I don't know, like drone propellers,
Right. Oh,
basic drone
absolutely, yeah.
propellers on
Right.
this thing, on this balloon, and make it at least have some sort. I mean, yes, it is basically flowing to the wind, but you could kind of alter that back and
Right.
forth a little with today's technology, much
Absolutely.
more than you could,
Yeah.
I don't know, 75 years ago
Yeah.
when balloons were
Right.
more prominently used. But yeah, I don't know how much good it would do up in like the 300 mile
Right.
per hour.
Yeah, it'd have to be a
wind
big
jet.
fan.
Yeah. So, but there are potentials there, and again, I mean, still it's going to be slower than a satellite, and
Right.
satellites are stuck on course too. It's not like they can move
Right.
too much back and forth either. The other benefit I guess balloons have over satellites are they're really fucking cheap.
Right.
It's really freaking cheap
Yeah.
and really freaking quick to put a balloon together, blow the bitch up, and set it off versus like rocket launches, building the
Yeah.
technology for the rocket, not exploding it on the launch pad, getting it up in space. It gets shot down, we're out like $1 billion versus a
Right.
balloon gets shot down, we're out the cost of the helium that Derek mentioned. We're out maybe $1,000 of helium. So as far as a payload is concerned, I wanted to hear from the experts on this, on like how much could this actually carry? Because I was just
Right.
like, how much? Like I said, my initial thought was how much can a balloon actually carry? Apparently, a balloon the size can carry quite a bit more than we might think. Because this is from news.northeastern.edu, so it's experts.
Oh,
They're
okay.
It's got an edu on it, so they're
It's
smart
got-
people.
yeah,
They
right,
got to be smart.
academics.
So it says the suspected downed Chinese spy balloon could have been carrying hundreds of pounds of equipment.
Huh.
Hundreds of pounds. That's pretty. I mean,
That's-
that increases the potential of what it could be on this.
yeah.
So we can speculate more after we hear the statistics here. The suspected Chinese spy balloon was shot down off the coast. Yeah, don't give us spoilers. We haven't got to that part yet. Spoiler alert, it does get shot down. It says, based on available information, Mohammed E. Taslim, a mechanical industrial engineer professor at Northeastern, says a couple of quick calculations can yield some answers to how much it could carry. It talks about some sciencey stuff like Archimedes' law, and I'm not going to get into that
Right.
because I don't fucking care. Just tell me
Right.
how much. It says I would simplify this and suggest this rather large balloon is like any balloon you would purchase and fill up with hydrogen or helium, which are gases much lighter than air. As long as its density is less than that of the air, then it will ascend upwards. No shit. We all know that part. It says, if you assume this is a spherical container of 90 feet in diameter, it turns out that 60,000 feet of elevation, where the air is very thin, about 14% of the pressure at sea level, the balloon could have a max payload of 2,700 pounds.
That's a lot.
That's more than a
Yeah.
ton.
Yeah.
A ton
Yeah. Yeah.
of shit that a
Equipment.
balloon
Right,
could be
right, yeah.
carrying. But that's at max altitude.
Right.
So air being heavier down here, to get it up
Right.
there, we'd have to like decrease that down. But still, that's a lot.
You know, another possibility,
Hmm.
some kind of aerosol virus.
We're gonna get there.
Okay.
We
All right.
will
All
get
right. All
there.
right. All right. All right.
He said, I tried to get accurate dimensions, but everyone was saying it was as wide as 3 school buses. Photos of the balloon, while it's still airborne, suggest it was solar powered. So they think they saw solar panels on that satellite that it was carrying around. So if it did have aerial photography equipment, or if it did have like propellers or something, they would be solar powered. I mean, it's way up in the fucking sky.
Yeah.
There's lots of sun
Nothing's
up there.
gonna block that view.
Says they could have used a fraction of that maximum and likely did, but that still supports a large amount of electronics plus the solar panels to power it. Taslim says it's possible, based on the available information, that the Chinese aircraft could have supported a range of technologies, including photography, high-speed cameras, signal jamming devices, or even underground sensing equipment, like is what you said, which I never even really thought of, but apparently you did. So it must be legit.
I read an article that talked about
Oh, so you're not
it.
smart.
It wasn't just me. Yeah.
The airship ultimately traveled about 3,400 miles from the southern Alaskan coast to the Carolinas. At its final elevation of roughly 60,000 feet, the balloon would have been floating at the very edge of the stratosphere, where wind can achieve speeds of more than 135 miles per hour. But the suspected reconnaissance balloon was likely deployed at a fraction of the size reported by the government. Thus, it's more likely the balloon was equipped with at least 300 to 400 pounds of cargo, beginning at sea level. So, talking 400 pounds, 500 pounds. I mean,
but still
quite a bit,
Yeah.
considering a W-80 nuclear warhead weighs 280 pounds.
Okay.
So
Fair enough.
at its minimum, it could be carrying 2 nuclear warheads. At its max, it could be carrying up to 10 nuclear warheads. But there's no, as the government said, there's no active threat on the ground, militarily or otherwise.
And again, this is a hostile nation. It could have been banana cream pies, and it would be something that should still be concerned.
That would be concerning to you. Mostly.
It would. I would not go outside.
Be like, I would take the nuclear bombs over the banana cream
with
pies.
an umbrella. Hell yeah.
Yes. So I don't know. Do you have any concerns over this now? Any more so than any reservations more than you did before?
I do, and only because it's so damn peculiar, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's just so odd. Like, and now I've read articles where they said, "Oh, well, this happened quite a bit under Trump, and we just never heard about it."
Why didn't we hear about it?
Right.
And why didn't we do anything about it?
Right. Which makes you wonder, okay, is this just meant to be like a distraction, something to kind of,
probably, most likely. Put something shiny in the sky, and we'll all
exactly
get distracted by it.
But again, yeah, I mean, it's so bizarre that it is a little concerning.
Just the potential that it could be carrying and the lack of response from the U.S. government. That's the most disturbing part of me. Is they're just like, well, no, it's in the sky. We'll watch it. Don't worry. What if it was a fucking bomb and they dropped the bomb and you just watched it? Like, it's not like they had jets flying around. Like, if a spy plane flew over, it would be trailed by fighter jets until it left.
Right. Yeah. So why didn't they have like some kind of military presence around the balloon or something? I don't know. And again, 30 years from now, we'll read in the papers like, well, there was suspected anthrax in the balloon, so they didn't want to shoot it over unless it was over the coast.
It's like, but at the time when we were told, it's like, we'll be reading that. We're like, son of a bitch, they told us there was no threat.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's how it always works, though.
CD McRae is here. She said, I didn't know I could learn so much about balloons. CD.
We aren't even started yet.
We didn't know either. We didn't know this either. I didn't know that I could write 2 hours on balloons. But here we are talking about fucking balloons. Now, I wanted to get into the history of balloons and warfare.
Yes.
Warfare, balloonery.
I like balloonery, yes.
Balloonery, yes. Derek says they should have sent another and load it with glitter, so when we blow it up, we get a good show. I would be fucking pissed if they blew up a glitter balloon over us.
There's no getting out of that.
Yeah,
speaking from having a daughter, no.
Got rained on by glitter, and we would just be permanently covered in glitter.
It would fuck up our country for centuries.
In 40 years from now, we'd still be finding glitter in our ass cracks. Good Lord. That would just, that's talking worst case scenario, a glitter bomb.
Yes.
A glitter bomb over the continental U.S. That would be the worst. Let's get into let's get into the history so we can know kind of the potential of balloons. Because we can't play these off
Right.
as it's just a fucking balloon. Because I don't know if you knew this. I didn't know this. Did you know Japan in World War II used hot air balloons as bombs,
I did not know that.
as fire bombs? Yes.
That makes sense though.
There was they called it the Fugo bomb or Code Fu weapon. It was an incendiary. This is from
At least
Wikipedia.
it wasn't kung fu.
The Kung Fu weapon. It's an incendiary balloon weapon used and deployed against the United States by Japan during World War II. It was a hydrogen balloon measuring 10 meters or only 33 feet in diameter. So they're like a third the
Right,
size
right.
of this China balloon. It carried a payload of two 11-pound incendiary devices plus one 33-pound anti-personnel bomb,
Oh.
or alternatively one 26-pound incendiary bomb, and was intended to start large forest fires in the Pacific
Oh
Northwest.
yeah, you tie that onto hydrogen. Yeah, that's nasty.
Did you know they got one of these into the United States and killed some people with a
I
balloon
did
from
not
Japan,
know
from
that.
mainland
No,
Japan?
I did not know
Launched
that.
it. It got into Oregon, killed 6 people. The
Wow.
only one that actually was effective because, I mean, they're kind of unpredictable, especially back then.
Right.
They got one. It lit some people on fire, and 6 people died in Oregon.
Wow.
I didn't realize Japan got an attack off.
I
You
did
don't
not.
hear about that in the history books,
No.
that Japan got an attack on mainland United States.
Yeah. I want to know how many other countries accidentally got it.
Now, yeah, no shit. Now, this was actually considered the very first intercontinental weapon
Oh, okay.
over like nuclear warheads, over anything. This was the first intercontinental weapon to like cross from across the ocean
Right.
into the United States and kill it. It killed people.
Yeah.
It says between 1944 and 45, the Imperial Japanese Army launched about 9,300 balloons.
And one of them made it to the United States.
One of them killed people. Only one of them killed people
in the
that we know
United
of.
States.
Of which 300 were found or observed in the U.S. and Canada. 300 of them actually
Huh.
made it, with some in Mexico. The balloons traveled on high altitude and high speed currents, just like the one they launched
Yes.
from China, over the Pacific Ocean, today known as the jet stream, and used sophisticated ballast systems to control the altitude.
Huh.
The bombs were ineffective as fire starters due to damp conditions. So if California would have been as dry as it is
Yes.
today, we would have
It
had more
would go-
problems.
Yes.
But back then they actually had like brush
Yeah,
control
they
and
actually
shit
took
like
care
that.
of
Yeah.
things.
It says causing only minor damage and 6 deaths from a civilian incident in Oregon in May 1945.
It's because somebody probably thought it'd be cool to shoot the balloon.
Probably. Fugo was the first weapon to have intercontinental range, with its flights being the longest ranged attacks in the history of warfare at the time.
Huh.
Now these things, if you read on, because of the jet stream, they could reach the United States from Japan, mainland Japan, between 30 to 100 hours is all.
Really?
So in a couple days, they could launch this balloon up and get it to the United States. Just a couple days. Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. And probably very difficult to detect,
I was
especially
gonna
back
say,
then.
yeah, there's no radar that would pick something like that up.
Derek Ambrose says, fill it with Legos. He says, would have been epic if one of those Chinese paper lanterns, if it was one of those Chinese paper lanterns and not in a balloon. That would have been pretty badass. But yeah, you're talking a matter of days. It took them in 1945 to
Yeah.
get a balloon full of explosives
Yeah.
to the United States.
But see, China would have to know that.
oh yeah,
I
they
mean,
know
somebody
it.
in Chinese intelligence was probably like, "Oh shit, yeah, we did do that."
And they're like, let's file this. We're gonna need this someday.
right, right.
And that someday is today,
Yeah.
apparently. So I mean, that's not the only example of
Balloon warfare.
balloon warfare.
Balloonery.
Apparently during World War II, the British used more rudimentary, like less high altitude balloons. They're just balloons, but they'd carry wires, and they would launch them across into Germany, and they would like get into the power lines and just short out the power lines and take out
That's brilliant,
yeah,
actually.
take out their freaking their
Huh.
electric system.
Yeah.
Or they would carry other shit too, but not usually bombs, but they did other shit, more of like sabotage type
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
with balloons. So there's that.
Huh.
Even apparently, I did not know this, that we used spy blimps in Afghanistan. So when was this written? The Afghanistan war. So 2016 is when this came out.
Huh.
It says Big Eye Kabul surveillance blimps over Afghanistan. So we used spy blimps. You see the blimp up
Oh,
there to just float over Afghanistan and surveil Afghanistan
Interesting.
every single day and every single night. It says. The U.S. Army calls them aerostat or persistent threat detection systems. From the ground, you can almost forget they exist. Equipped with computers as well as infrared and color video cameras, the dirigibles are part of a network of drones and CCTV cameras that allow the U.S. to keep a close watch on populations and even zoom in on one specific location to detect a specific individual behavior. So, rudimentary, old school thought process. We were using it all the way up as recent as 5, 6, 8 years ago in Afghanistan. Blimps, balloons, whatever. Did you know in the Civil War, they had what was known as the Union Army Balloon Corps?
No, but that sounds awesome.
I would like to be a member of the
Yes.
Army Balloon Corps. Now, they were more just because we didn't have like bombs and shit like that
No,
back then,
no.
but they were like to they would go up and they would pretty much guide the artillery. So
Okay.
if the artillery wasn't getting close, they'd be up there with their binoculars
Yeah.
or their
Telescope.
telescope. And be
Right.
like, nope, a little more to the left.
Yep.
Uh,
15 yards to the east.
6 clicks to the east, and
Huh.
I guess it was highly effective. But so yeah, balloons have been used in warfare for at least. I'm sure the Chinese were using them back like 1,000
yeah.
years ago.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
with their fireworks too.
Right? Yes. Now, is it possible we're overlooking the obvious that G
Mm-hmm.
is a big Yellowstone fan and he wants to get in on Montana too?
That's
That could be
possible.
the next season of Yellowstone right there.
Yeah, he just like ascends down or descends down on a balloon. It's just G on a balloon. He's just like, this is mine, bitches.
Where's
they're gonna
this
make-
John Dutton?
And it's going to be played by what's that Chinese guy from Community?
Oh, Chang. Or the
Yeah,
I don't know his name, but Chang.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking
Yes.
about. He plays G in Yellowstone, the
That'd
next
be
season
brilliant.
of Yellowstone. Yes,
Brilliant.
absolutely would be freaking awesome. So would you call this like kind of stupid, outdated tech, or
No,
are we
not at
still on
all.
the
Yeah.
genius mindset of
no,
it?
I still think it's genius. I mean, why not use, something outdated, to get underneath the radar, something that seems like some kind of, little, harmless little thing ends up being some massive, payload thing. I mean, you see it in movies all the time,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, Japan dropped a firebomb on Oregon, and we were never told about it really
Right.
for the last
Yeah.
80 years. But first intercontinental weapon was a fucking balloon.
Right. Yeah.
And
Which
we're
can
ju-
make it here in 30 to 100 hours.
Yes, in a matter of 3-4 days.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, remember when Obama was making fun of bayonets and horses, and it was like, well, that's what we're doing in Afghanistan right now, right?
Yeah.
So,
Dude, I would bayonet the shit out of somebody. Now, you are the one you brought up fly under the radar.
Yeah.
It's more like fly over the radar.
right.
Because these things can hover at altitudes of 80 to 100,000 feet.
Yeah.
Do you know what the problem is there?
Hmm.
You can't fucking shoot them down.
Right.
Because if it was at its max height of 100,000 feet, a jet can't go that high. Surface to air missiles can't shoot that high.
Huh.
We can't fucking shoot down a balloon. So you could literally spy on the entire United States from that altitude, and we couldn't do a damn thing about it. If they had got it that high, we couldn't have shot it down. But it was hovering at 60,000, which apparently was doable.
Okay.
But
But does that lend credence to the fact that this was meant to be, that it was something harmless? That it was at 60,000 feet? Or again, was it to just gauge our response?
I think it's probably most likely to gauge our response, but I don't know. There's so many potentials here,
Yeah.
and we will never know.
Right.
But according to the government at the time, there's nothing to worry about. It's just a fucking It's just a balloon.
Like
I
I
mean, it's
said,
downplayed.
They'll do a documentary in 30 years about how we almost died.
Well, the thing is, like, it's been downplayed to the point where, like, how they just specifically keep saying that a balloon over Montana,
Right.
when they're focusing less on the fact that the thing covered the entire continental United States. Here's a map
from
of
Alaska to the Carolinas.
yeah, down into on Tuesday. Says Tuesday. I thought it was Thursday or Friday. It was in Montana.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Maybe they I don't know. But so January 31st, it says, was in Montana. Then by Wednesday, it was deep in Montana. And so this is a suspected traverse over the
okay.
United States. So by Friday, it would be over like Missouri. By Saturday, it would have been into North Carolina and then out to sea by Sunday, which is about when they shot it down. So yeah, matter of what, 4 or 5 days,
Right.
clean across the
Yeah.
North America, not just
Right.
the United States, but North America.
Yeah.
But they keep saying the Montana spy balloon. Like I even saw when I went to Google it getting shot down, the first thing that pops up is Chinese balloon shot down over Montana. It's like, no, it wasn't. That thing got all the fucking way across
Yeah.
the United States. You don't realize how much if their intent was to spy, we let them get everything they
Oh,
could
fuck yeah.
before we shot it down.
Right, right.
Like we let them complete the mission
Yeah.
before we shot that shit down.
Right. Yeah.
And the whole response of the government was, well, if we shoot it down, there's the potential of it landing on people and
Right.
injuring people. Do you know how vast Montana is?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
There's,
Right.
I mean, you've watched Yellowstone. There's
Yeah.
a lot of open range that
Yeah.
you could have, and I don't know. I feel like
And again, it was in Canada for a little bit, so who cares?
exactly. So, I mean, what should they have done? Should they have shot it down before
Yeah.
when it entered Alaska? Because there's nobody in fucking
Right.
Alaska.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. As soon as it entered U.S. airspace, looking at that map, I mean, it's coming in through the northwest corner of Alaska. Yeah. There ain't shit
But
up
you
there.
can predict the trajectory of that thing
Yeah.
when it's still out over the ocean. They have all these computers and shit that are like, oh, by
Absolutely.
this point it's going to be here.
Yes. I mean, they
And
know exactly how that jet stream works.
U.S. airspace includes some of the over the ocean parts that they could have shot
Right.
that bitch down
Yeah.
over the ocean
Yes.
in U.S. airspace before it ever.
They could have gotten that company to do a nice little translation for the Inuit people in Alaska to watch out.
Well, can you imagine the people in Alaska on like Friday when the United States comes on? They're like, yeah, we're reporting that there's this Chinese spy balloon in the continental U.S. and we've been tracking it since it passed through Alaska. It's like, wait, you let that pass over us and didn't tell us
Right.
anything?
Yes.
That thing's been over us for several days and
I guarantee
gone?
the people in Alaska probably knew. They've been training to fight Russia for the last 50 years.
That's true. They're like, here it is, guys. Here
This
it
is it. This is what we train for.
But yeah, I feel like the response had to have been if the official story that it came from China, which I still have my doubts that this is a Chinese balloon in
Yeah.
the first place. But if the story is true, why the fuck did we wait so long to shoot it down?
Right.
Because we wanted to see what happens next.
Right. Right.
That's
yeah.
the only thing I can conclude. It's like let's just see where this goes.
Yeah.
Let's just see how this plays out.
Yeah.
And like-
or again, I mean, they maybe were like, oh, we don't want to panic people, so
but the thing was like hovering over or like flying over like nuclear test sites.
right, yeah,
And things like that. So it's like,
Yeah.
how long do we just hope for the best before we say, guys, we should probably do something?
yeah,
Because again, there wasn't like jets flying around. It's not like if it would have dropped something, they would have like surfaced to ground or
Right.
surface to air, missiled that shit out of the sky.
Right.
No, because nobody was really
Yeah.
tracking it. I mean, they're tracking it, but nobody
Right.
was really flying around it
right,
and like making sure nothing bad happened.
yeah.
CD says the balloon was sent by Dr. Evil and test.
10.
And again, CD repeats what we said. You can see those test sites on Google Earth. So if that was really their
Right.
goal was to get aerial photography of test sites,
Right,
it's all over the fucking
right,
internet.
yeah.
Just do a basic internet search, and maybe
you can probably find full blueprints of the whole things on the internet.
oh, I'm sure somebody's posted them. Yeah. So, let's see. I wanted to get into the response. I might wait till after the half, though. Let's talk a little more about how the government responded to that
or lack thereof.
or lack thereof.
Yeah, because I had read that Biden basically didn't want to say anything.
Well, Biden probably wouldn't have said anything if people didn't see it in the
Right.
sky.
Yeah.
Well, you had mentioned, I don't even have an article here, that well, obviously 3 balloons flew over during Trump's administration. We didn't do anything about it. Like, what's the big deal? Trump let 3 balloons fly over, and we're
Yeah.
like, wait, fucking 3 balloons flew over? You didn't tell us?
Right.
Why are we just now finding out about this?
Yeah.
But it makes you wonder if it's kind of like, do you remember when the derecho happened here?
Yes.
And then all of a sudden it's just like, oh,
Yes.
this is becoming a more thing. Oh, yeah, there was derecho here like 2 years. It's like,
Yeah, and then Google derecho, and it's like, oh well, this happened in Philadelphia, this happened in Omaha, and it's
this is
like
all of a
what-
sudden
what the fuck?
this has been a known
Yeah,
thing for
millions of dollars of damage over the last 10
Yeah,
years, and
and
it's like, what the fuck?
nobody's known anything about it, just to kind of justify this odd
Yeah.
weather behavior and shit like that made
Right.
us question, you know, like, is this like, did the government cause this? Because
Right.
they're really playing this
Yeah.
like backstory into
Right.
this. It's just like nobody's ever heard of this thing
Yeah.
until it happened and destroyed our entire like half the state.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh yeah, this has happened many times in the
Yeah.
last 10 years. This is a common thing. It's like,
Right. Since when?
yeah, and that's kind of what this reminded me. I was
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, spy balloons have been flying over. They've been doing this forever. It's just like, really? Why are we just now hearing
Yeah,
about this now?
right.
Well, because you didn't see it, so we didn't feel the need to tell you.
Yeah, which even is
And
more
again,
cause for concern.
Why are we allowing this?
Yeah.
But I feel I don't believe it because of the way China is kind of respond. Oh, we're sorry that we sent, like, this was an accident, and they're like, well, we're not going to send our diplomat over there.
Right.
It's like, if this was happening before, we would have been
Right.
The deal we're making now, we would have been making.
Absolutely.
then.
Yeah. Right. And exactly. There was no, apology beforehand, no mention of it, oh, sorry that our balloon blew over there again. Can you just send it back this way? Even when we shot it down, I mean, the response was, well, we're kind of disappointed you did that.
Yeah.
So, we'll make arrangements with the company so that they can seek restitution from you.
Right. So this says Biden chose not to shoot down Chinese spy balloons. So this was earlier this week before he made the decision to shoot it down. But he was keeping all options on the table. Says the White House said Friday it's keeping all options on the table regarding the Chinese spy balloons after President Biden followed strong recommendations from defense officials to not shoot down the aircraft due to safety of people on the ground.
I'm sorry, I kind of sneezed my camera out of the angle there.
We don't care.
There we go. Okay.
Damn it, Bill. Quit fucking
I
mention.
know.
Says official said Biden made his decision on a strong recommendation from Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, chairman of the Joint Chief General Mark Milley, and so we got Mark Milley because Mark Milley's too busy fighting climate change.
Right.
He's like, what if it was a weather balloon and they are up there fighting climate change?
Right.
We can't hinder.
Yes.
We all got to work together,
Exactly.
including China, on fighting
Exactly.
climate change.
That's exactly his attitude.
It says, and the commander of Northern Command to not take kinetic action at this time because of the risk to safety and security of people on the ground. So basically, let's not retaliate against this balloon.
So, but when
But they call it kinetic.
kinetic
action.
response. When have they ever cared about that? I mean, in the history of everything they've actually dropped nukes out of planes before, and never have you heard of
They crashed a nuke plane in there's like still a crashed nuke plane that they can't find off North Carolina.
and they're not like, oh shit, we better find that.
I have reason to believe, and I've said this before, I'm pretty sure they shot down the plane that landed in Pittsburgh.
Right.
I'm almost 99% positive if anything happened that's anywhere near the main narrative, that they absolutely shot that plane out of the sky.
But nobody's
didn't
like,
care about the
no,
people on
oh,
the ground
fuck
or the
no.
fucking people in the plane.
Yeah, exactly. They were never like, well, we were kind of worried about everybody around there. No, if they wanted to do it, they would have done it.
Says White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre on Friday said it does not present a military or physical threat to people on the ground
because she knows
until the bombs fall out of it.
Yeah, right.
Or whatever else payload falls out of it.
And after all, it is the Midwest, so
the president will always put the safety and security of the American people first, she said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, he's got
Absolutely.
a habit of doing that.
We are tracking closely and keeping all options on the table. Officials said Biden continues to be briefed and get regular updates on the matter. So that's their initial response. That's like, we're just going to watch it.
Yeah.
We're going to keep an eye on it.
If we blow it up, it could be bad for everybody around it.
But if we don't blow it up,
Right. Yeah.
it could be bad.
Yeah.
Now, no, the thing is this. It's already made it this far. They haven't done anything yet.
Yeah.
If they shoot it down and it lands on people, that's kind of on us.
Yeah.
It kills some
Yeah.
people, it's kind of on us.
Yeah.
If they don't shoot it down, they drop some bombs and it kills some people. That's on China, and then we can
Right.
ramp up
Exactly.
war with them. So
Yeah.
it's just like, now, if we shoot it down and it's nothing and we kill our people, then that's embarrassing on
Right.
us, and we can't go to war over that.
But again, we would never hear about that.
No, we would. Yeah, those people would just, they would just no longer exist.
Bomb shot down, or balloon was shot down successfully, guys. Hey, this is a big win. Mission accomplished.
Well, kind of like we never heard about the Japanese fire balloon that killed 6 people in Oregon.
Yeah, what the hell?
The People's Republic of China confirmed Friday the balloon was detected. The balloon was Chinese. China claimed, we read all this stuff.
Yeah.
This is just going back in time. It says, meanwhile, a White House official said the Biden administration's officials briefed the gang of 8 staff. I don't know what that is.
That's like his inner circle.
Okay. And offered additional congressional briefings, which likely will take place next week. Then it talks about Secretary of State Antony Blinken canceling his trip, indefinitely postponed.
Yeah.
It says the president agrees with the secretary's decision to not go on with the trip. And it was consensus that it was not appropriate to travel to the People's Republic of China at this time.
I disagree. I think he should fly over there via balloon.
He should go over there and be like, he should take the balloon back and be like, you dropped something.
Yeah, here,
And just
keep it out of my yard, bitch.
Yes. You looking for this?
Yeah. And again, I'd read where they thought, okay, well, maybe they're using this as an excuse because that way he can't go over and talk to Z, and that way we don't have to like sit down and negotiate at all.
Mm-hmm. It says she added, Jean-Pierre added, the press secretary, we know the PRC statement of regret, but the presence of this balloon in our airspace, it's a clear violation of our sovereignty as well as international law, and it's unacceptable that this occurred.
So why didn't you stop it before it happened?
Because they want to see what happens.
I know. I'm just saying, if you're that outraged, right? Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they invaded our airspace.
Mm-hmm.
Then why not take care of it before it gets into the airspace?
Because
I know.
Because so many opportunities would be missed.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Never let a good crisis go to waste. If we shoot
Exactly.
this fucking balloon down in Alaska, the potential that would have been there is no longer there. And then,
But if it drops bombs on Chicago, oh shit.
They're really fucking disappointed that nothing happened. Like,
oh yeah.
Damn it. It just flew over.
Right.
That's it.
And they're like,
Collected data. They have all our data anyway.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, what if we bomb one of our own cities and just blame it on the balloon?
Yes. What if we shoot down the balloon, then drop a bomb from the
Yeah.
plane that shot down the balloon?
Level it.
That would be something else.
Yeah.
That I would not put that past
I
them
wouldn't
at all,
either.
to be honest.
Like,
That's
no,
a
Mr.
scary
President, we
thing.
can't do that. We can't do that.
But wink, wink, we can't do that, Mr. President.
Yeah, exactly.
Why stop winking?
Yeah.
I'm reading you. We can't do that. Wink. Why do you keep winking
Yeah,
at me?
I can clearly see you're winking.
It is about time for a break. I want to get into the memes and the hysteria that came along with this, and then maybe talk about some of maybe conspiracy theory stuff. Like if we have any theories of what else this could possibly be. We'll see where we go with this, but we need to get to break. We're going to take 3 to 4 to 6 minutes. Not quite that many, but
that's oddly specific.
a couple minutes. We're gonna refresh our coffee and drinks and whatever, and take a piss probably, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna keep talking about balloons because it's a very intriguing topic to me that I never thought I would have on a podcast.
Yes.
Or
I'm going
in
to take
real
balloons
life.
more seriously now.
I feel like this could be a really great stoner conversation about balloons, balloon weapon warfare.
We need some helium.
We definitely that would be fun. We'll be right back, and we're gonna keep talking about Chinese spy balloons. Goodbye.
Have you ever thought that maybe voting, maybe all this politics constantly surrounding you is not the way to achieve freedom in your life? Hi, I'm Remso W. Martinez, and I ask myself the same question. That's why I'm on a journey to find true freedom in my lifetime. From learning about financial independence, to new ways to develop rugged individualism, to amazing guests living strange, crazy, amazing lifestyles that you've only thought might be real, but actually are. Go ahead and check out my new show, On the Run with Remso W. Martinez at the We Are Libertarians Network. You can find On the Run with Remso W. Martinez on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play. You know how the internet works. Come on down and let's discover how to achieve real freedom in your life together.
Hey everybody, I just want to take this time to give a big shout out to the very first sponsor of the Break the Bell podcast. That is Goulash Media. They can be found at goulashmedia.net. Goulash Media specializes in graphic design, web design, audio recordings, video work, wedding videos, music videos, even political campaign videos. Goulash Media caters to the little guy with the big vision. You can check them out at goulashmedia.net. That's GOULASH media.net.
You've got too much on your mind to be so conscious and not just believing every siren going away. And it's about time we address the situation and begin to get back to you. We hold a candle like angel for your self-respect. Reputation is destroyed by what you can expect to be. Faceless in between. I know you can handle it. To face the truth of the matter, it's still so much better to leave the light and drag it to your grave. Because you see what to make of this. How you can turn your own tables and work this. And take advantage of your failure like you planned to anyway. And it's about time we address the situation and begin to get back to you. We hold a candle like angel for your self-respect. Reputation destroyed by what you can expect to be. The faceless in between. You're still alive, but you've been dead inside for a long time. And I understand why. But you did this to yourself. You did this to yourself. You don't even remember the name. Why should anybody remember you? Why should anyone give you another shot? You know you're wrong. You know you deserve to be forgotten. Now you're everything you always disguise. You know you should feel through all this lies. All this effort to cover up what you've done. We already know. We already see. Wake up and get better before you hit the backside. We address the situation and begin to get back to you. We hold a candle like angel for your self-respect. Reputation destroyed by what you can expect to be. The faceless in between. I know it's not a good time for you. You've got too much on your mind to be so conscious and not just believing every siren going away. and begin to get back to you. We hold a candle like angel for your self-respect. Reputation is destroyed by what you can expect to be. The faceless in between.
And we're back. Talking about Chinese spy balloons.
Yes.
Which we never knew was such a threat that...
Yes, or that it's been such a thing for so long.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense that a long time ago they used balloons before planes. But you'd think with the advent of planes, the
They'd go
balloons would
away.
kind of go away. But
No.
But as we kind of said in the first half, it's like, it's kind of fucking genius. It's like,
It
who would suspect a balloon with a payload of nuclear weapons to float over the United States and drop, or bioweapons, or what have you? I mean, the potential's there for some serious damage. I would say probably small scale damage.
Yeah.
Because, but then again, on the other side, it's like, what happens if they release like 1,000 balloons at like 100,000 feet where we can't shoot them down, with each armed with 2 small nuclear warheads or whatever.
Well, but like you said, I mean,
we can't shoot down all of them.
But you said that, you know, this balloon was capable of, with solar panels and all that, it could have a payload of potentially like 400 pounds.
Right.
I mean, that nuclear warhead was about 200 pounds.
280,
roughly.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, they could potentially have, you know, maybe 2.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
warheads
You
in
get
there.
1,000 balloons up there, probably for the cost of one jet.
Yeah.
Or one intercontinental ballistic like missile.
Yeah. Right.
For a small price, 1,000 balloons. We can't shoot down, even if we could shoot that high, we can't shoot down that many balloons to save our fucking lives.
Yeah. Our missile grid could shoot down, you know, I mean, whatever is coming intercontinentally, but when you have 99 balloons coming over the Pacific through the jet stream, right?
It's like, God, what do we do? I mean,
right?
Sounds like a catastrophe waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's kind of scary to think about. To think that balloons could be so scary. It's kind of sad, but I don't know. What would we do? How do you counter that? We don't have, like, we have plenty of like counter nuclear capabilities. Do we have many counter balloon? Do we have many counter balloon capabilities?
Yeah.
Even if we could see it coming, we'd just be watching. It's like, oh fuck, we can't. Not much we could do about that unless they start shooting lasers up in the sky.
Right.
Like pinpointing with like high-powered lasers. That's about the only option you have.
Yeah. That might be an option.
Maybe that's what the Space Force was for, was to combat. They didn't realize, but they'd be
Balloons.
combating balloons from outer space. I don't know what I think, but
yeah.
But I do know the memes have been hilarious.
They have been awesome. Yes.
They've been on point.
Yes. It's funny because I had seen a calendar and it was like January memes and it had that police officer lady cop.
Mhm.
And then February memes, it's been balloons.
Yeah, it's kind of like meme bingo for 2023. And did anybody pick balloon warfare for February?
Didn't see it coming.
Didn't see it coming at all.
I like this one.
Derek says, during the break, I checked with the web and I can't find a U.S. Armed Force war blimp for sale. I'm disappointed. I'm equally disappointed.
That would be
I mean, you
sweet.
can buy a Humvee, you can buy a fucking tank, but you can't buy a war blimp.
Right.
That's some bullshit. Now, this one's my favorite: the Winnie the Pooh strapped to a
like that one
Chinese
too.
balloon with binoculars. That's the Chinese spy balloons there. This one, it has written in Sharpie on the balloon: "Weather balloon, totally not for spying." Not to be racist, but that's fucking hilarious.
That is funny.
Jesse Barfield says, wow, that's a... So this was a Twitter post. Wow, that's a lot of Dollar General, says China when they get the balloon back. That's all they spotted over the Midwest was Dollar General every 18 feet. Here's one. It's the, I don't know, the meme guy.
Yeah.
The
crying face.
The crying face meme guy. It shows the Chinese balloon. It says, no, China is spying on me. And then a phone with TikTok. It says, oh my God, look at these TikToks. And then this is one of my favorites. It's the weather balloon, and plastered on it says, we've been trying to contact you about your car's extended warranty. So the memes are on point.
Yes.
They're freaking out there. Like, you scroll through Twitter, Facebook, it's just every other thing is.
I saw
balloon
one
memes.
that said, hey, Joe, and then it said, Happy Valentine's Day, ZZ.
Yes. Now, are we taking this too lightly? Should we not be? I mean, that's how America handles crises.
It is.
memes.
And plus, again, part of me wonders, like, okay, is the United States trying to amp up aggression against China? Is that why they let this go? Is that why it's become this thing? You know, maybe it was just an off-course weather balloon. Again, it's disconcerting, but at the same time, if they want us to get pissed off and be like, oh shit, you know, what's China trying to pull now? Let's go take it out.
Right. The media is all over the shit for being such a nothing burger.
Right.
The media is totally covering this.
Yeah.
If the media hadn't got involved with this, it would have just been somebody saw this in Montana.
Right. Yeah.
And none of us would have probably heard about it. Like the 3 that flew over during
Right.
Trump's administration.
Yeah.
We wanted to heard about it, but they wanted us to hear this, whether it's to gauge our response, the government being like, oh, we could use this to gauge their response.
Yeah. How many UFOs have flown over the United States in the last 80 years and nobody has said anything?
Nobody has covered it to the extent of this fucking
exactly.
balloon. That's for damn sure. It's to get us pissed off and be like, oh, we got to do something about this. And then they could be like, oh, we do need to go to war against China.
Right.
We've been trying.
Yeah.
But they keep saying they're going to attack Taiwan, but they're not attacking Taiwan.
Or it comes out in 2 weeks that Joe Biden passed a new green bill that's going to, you know, cut all gasoline vehicles in 5 years or so. You know, it's like, oh, while you're watching the balloon, this happened.
Yeah.
You know,
Something like that happened. Well, I did hear that while we were all watching the balloon, I saw that one of the 9/11 people got released from Guantanamo Bay.
I saw that
during this point.
Yes.
So we missed that because we're all staring at fucking balloons in the sky. Would you believe that people are writing songs about the Chinese balloon?
That doesn't surprise me, actually.
I have one for you to listen to.
Perfect.
Hopefully it plays.
A strange object has appeared in the sky. It is white, the size of 3 dump trucks, and traveling across the United States.
Hey, the Chinese spy balloon, I see you land to my airspace soon. You're up above the sky so high. Do you see me down below? I've always wanted to fly. Do you think you could stop by and give me a ride? Hey there, Chinese spy balloon, you've come such a long way, and I'd like to say, after snapping all the necessary pictures, won't you leave some memory space for yours truly? I know you can move fast, but I've got time to spare. Don't look back, you can land in my backyard. I swear I wait till Monday to call the Pentagon as you flow through the air. look down at all of the military bases, airplanes and guns and nuclear warheads. Did you get a chance to look my way? Because I'm ready to see if it could be you and me. It's no hot air, I know it's cold up there. I hope you'll come my way real soon. Thought for a second that you were Neptune or the moon.
All right, that's enough of that. That goes on for another minute and a half.
Wow.
Best
You put a lot of thought into that one.
Right. Best. It's like November rain, but probably equally as little substance.
Yes.
Now, best use of 2 chords, I guess anybody could ever have, because that's
That's
all it
true.
was 2
That's-
freaking
yeah.
guitar chords over. But way to capitalize on such
Yes.
an event, because I mean, you got to laugh shit like this off,
Yeah.
because otherwise we might be terrorized by the hysteria that comes out of this. C. McRae says, "Stop it." Then she says she's thankful that wasn't my brother. So nope, wasn't my brother.
I'm sure he's working on something.
He'll definitely be working on it. It'll be far shittier than that. So look forward to that to be released in the near future. Now, like I said, you got to laugh with the memes and the songs. That was the second song I heard about this.
Okay.
I heard one that somebody played on another podcast, I think, and I couldn't find that one, but I did find this. So there's multiple songs
Okay,
about the Chinese spy balloon out there. So just so you know, but again, we got to laugh about it to avoid going crazy from the mass political hysteria that comes out of it.
Yes.
Because I mean, it's out there. Like, Donald Trump was one of the first people to respond.
Of course.
His response was, "Shoot down the balloon." That's all he said on his Twitter. It was on Truth Social. Shoot down the damn balloons. So yeah, we know what would happen if he was still
Yes.
president.
He would've
Even
blown it up.
though supposedly this happened 3 times while he was
Right,
president.
yeah.
But he actually came out and was like, "That never happened. That's a lie.
Of
Wrong.
course. Of course he's gonna say that.
Wrong. No balloons flew over our airspace on my watch. I would have single-handedly shot down that balloon with my shotgun." So I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's not the hysteria I'm talking about. I'm talking about this GOP representative. He's the House Oversight Chairman. So he's like kind of high up in the House of Representatives. James Comer actually suggested that they had bioweapons from Wuhan on this thing.
That won't create any hysteria.
No, it's like, well, we don't want to get everybody out of sorts and really scared about this. So let's tell them there's no direct military threat to the people on the ground. And then this guy comes out and it's like, what if there's bioweapons on it? And it's like, did you not get the memo?
Yeah, right. Like, dude.
It's like, come on. It says, is that bioweapons in the balloon? Did that balloon take off from Wuhan? Comer breathlessly exclaimed to Fox News on Friday. It says,
is that the equivalent of yelling bomb in a movie theater?
A bomb on an airplane?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. House Oversight Chairman James Comer from Kentucky casually suggested to Fox News that the suspected Chinese spy balloon floating over the United States could contain bioweapons from Wuhan, invoking the lab leak theory that's been embraced by Republicans. After Chinese surveillance balloon was spotted over the northeast U.S. this week, or northern U.S. this week, Republicans have lashed out at President Biden over his perceived weakness in his administration's policy towards China, calling for the president to shoot down the craft. Some in the GOP called the president Beijing Biden, while claiming this is further proof that communist China doesn't fear or respect Biden. I mean, they kind of have a case there.
Right.
While the Pentagon has balked over conservative demands to take down the balloon, or the balloon on here, again, major typos, noting that falling debris could injure or kill civilians. The Biden administration has postponed Secretary of State Antony Blinken's upcoming trip to China. Meanwhile, China, has insisted that it's a civilian airship. We talked about that. Amid the Republican hand-wringing over the Chinese balloon, Comer appeared on Fox News, the Faulkner Focus, to react, and he immediately jumped into conspiratorial water. I have concern this will be another example of Biden administration's weakness on the national scale. You look at what happened in Afghanistan. That hurt the reputation of the American military strength. That hurt the reputation of our commander-in-chief. And now we have China clearly playing games with the United States. I mean, he has a point there. After saying the balloon never should have been allowed to cross into the U.S., you're welcome. Absolutely. The Kentucky lawmaker then fear-mongered that the craft could be loaded down with weaponized viruses. My concern is that the federal government doesn't know what's in the balloon. Is that bioweapons in the balloon? Did that balloon take off from Wuhan? Comer, of course, was referring to the theory that COVID-19 was engineered by Chinese virologists at Wuhan lab, possibly with the help and funding of American scientists. Comer, who has promised investigations into the origins of COVID-19, also alleged that former Biden chief medical advisor Anthony Fauci was warned early on the virus appeared man-made, but instead attempted to cover it up.
Is
blah,
that
blah, blah,
unfounded
blah,
theory
blah, blah.
still? I thought that they found it.
Yeah, but they're never going to admit to that.
Of
Even
course
if it comes
not.
out, they're going to be like, it's still an unfounded theory.
Although they don't blank it off as unfactual on Facebook anymore.
Oh, this part's funny. This part that Comer said is hilarious. It says, this is very concerning. Unless China is working with Biden to help find some of those missing documents scattered all over the United States, then this is unacceptable and should not be allowed. And again, another sign of weakness on the international stage by our commander-in-chief. Now, he makes some points here.
Yeah.
Whatever China's goal was, sending this across the United States, do you think it was in our best interest to just let it continue?
No, not at all.
To just be like, there's a thing.
Right. Yeah.
So whatever it could have done or was doing, it completed its mission.
Right.
Mission success.
Yes.
By all Chinese scale. And we know how Chinese propaganda works. It's like those dumbass motherfuckers let our balloon travel all the way across the United States before they finally shot it down.
And if you're the rest of the world, you saw the same thing.
Yeah, like Russia. They're going to look at this and be like, oh, we can send anything into their airspace. They're not going to do anything about it. What are they going to do? Balloons was a really good idea. Do you got any good balloon dealers we can get in? Can we get in on that?
Yeah.
So, yeah. What do you think of their response? What do you think of this guy saying?
Well,
that part out, like we said it out loud.
Yeah. But I don't know if you're a government official on a news station, is that something you really want to say? I mean,
and there is a level of, maintaining sanity.
Yes,
in the United States.
Yeah, I mean, if your intelligence even if your intelligence does lead towards that, is that something that you say on a news channel?
Now you can get on there. Like I feel like they're majorly downplaying this more than they should. But you could get on there and be like, he could have said all the way up to the point, the government has no idea. Like this could literally be anything. But then he's like, and I know what you're thinking, that this possibly could be bioweapons. And I'm here to tell you this could possibly be bioweapons. It's just like, well, we were thinking that. We actually were, but you just kind of made it that much more of a credible thought. At first, it'd be like, well, could it be? I can't. But then Comer comes on. It's just like, oh, shit, it could be bioweapons. Right. And it's just like.
But, it's so odd with this balloon because. And our reaction from this is just kind of explains that, right? Mm-hmm. That, okay, we sit there, we make jokes about it, but at the same time, okay, it was a credible threat. So it's like, do you get pissed or do you just laugh it off? I mean, how do you react to such a thing that's happened?
Well, the problem with Comer's thing here is, yes, he does willy-nilly throw out this could be bioweapons, but then his whole rant is about the weakness of the Biden administration. Right. It's like, I think we have more to worry about than Biden doing something embarrassing because it's a normal Tuesday for Biden to do something embarrassing.
Right.
Now you just throw out there, it could be bioweapons, and this looks really bad on Joe Biden. No, let's rewind. This could be bioweapons. There's so much more that's concerning to me than just embarrassing Joe Biden.
Right. But that's the problem here, is that you have the Democrats who their first response is, well, it happened to Trump, right? You got the Republicans who are like, well, it just shows the weakness of Biden. And then you got Biden being like, well, look how bad China is. Right. Yeah, right. Aren't they pretty?
Yes.
But they're like, oh, well, this just shows how big of a threat China could be. And then you got China being like, oops. So it's like, it's just all over the place.
Sure. Now, eventually, they did shoot down the balloon. After all that, like, we can't shoot it down. They let it run its course. It got over the Atlantic Ocean, and they finally shot it down. And I got the video clip of that just so we can see and confirm, I guess, supposedly confirm for ourselves. Here's the video.
Was that Biden that said that?
Here's a close-up. It looks pretty badass.
Yeah, that does look cool.
I wonder what they shot it down with.
Yeah.
Because I would have shot it down with something very minor so we could get as much information out of it as possible. Now, the problem is this. After they shot it down, NORAD has come out and said, do I have that article? I thought I had it. Okay, so NORAD says that the Chinese balloon was actually 200 feet tall. So they were predicting 90 feet in diameter. They're now saying this was 200 feet tall and may have had explosives. Now NORAD says.
Holy shit.
After 4 or 5 days of saying there's no military threat here, NORAD's like, hey, we gotta like reverse engineer this to see if maybe there's explosives on board. Now you're concerned. Now you're pointing out, oh, by the way, this might have had explosives, because you just spent the last a good part of a week saying,
But again,
no need to worry, guys.
Yeah, but again, they didn't want mass panic in the streets.
Well, yeah, but I say, guys, be a little bit alarmed here, because there might potentially be explosives over here. Because this says, since obliterated spycraft payload was approximately the size of a regional jet airliner, says Air Force General Glenn Van Herk, head of NORAD and NORCOM. Says the balloon assessment was up to 200 feet tall for the actual balloon. Of the payload itself, I would categorize that as a jet airliner type of size, maybe a regional jet such as ERJ or something like that. Probably weighed in excess of a couple thousand pounds. So we are saying about 90 feet, potentially 400 or 500 pounds.
After
they're
the
now
solar
talking
panels.
200 feet with approximately a couple thousand pounds. So now we're talking up to 10 9 or 10 nuclear warheads that this could have been carrying. It says a U.S. Air Force F-22 fighter even the Chinese balloon off South Carolina coast Saturday, days after it first entered the U.S. airspace, and the military advised Biden against shooting it down over land. From a safety standpoint, picture yourself with large debris weighing hundreds, if not thousands of pounds falling from the sky. That's really what we're kind of talking about. But picture the potential of hundreds of thousands of, or thousands of pounds of bombs falling from it if we don't shoot it down.
Falling onto Montana.
Asked about the potential hazards if the balloon had been shot down over land, he said the device had glass and solar panels, potentially hazardous materials, such as material required for batteries to operate, and even the potential for explosives to detonate and destroy the balloon that could have been present. He stopped short of confirming that the balloon was in fact carrying explosives. So it makes you wonder, is he just stopping short of saying this to not freak us out? Oh, this actually did have explosives. It says anytime you down something like this, we make an assumption that the potential exists. We did not associate the potential of having explosives with threat to dropping weapons, those kind of things. But out of precaution, abundance of safety, not only military people in the public, we have to make the assumption such as that. Debris from the balloon ended up being scattered across and measuring more than 15 foot football fields by 15 football fields, the Pentagon official said.
15 football fields?
That's how the debris field that scattered when
gotcha.
it fell. They're just saying, well, that's why we couldn't shoot it down, because that's a big area,
Okay.
15 by 15 football fields. But if you shot it over before it got to Alaska, we wouldn't have had that
Right.
problem. The emergence of the Chinese craft, which loitered over sensitive areas of Montana where nuclear warheads are siloed before sailing east, has quickly ignited a spying saga between Washington and Beijing. And all the rest of the shit we know. Derek Ambrose says, we can measure the size of asteroids hundreds of thousands of miles away, but not a balloon 60 to 80,000 feet in the sky. That's a fair point.
Yeah.
Like that's between 90 and 200 feet. That doesn't seem like a lot, but that's more than double the size, and
Yeah.
you didn't know how big this
Yeah.
shit was.
And
Or
like,
you didn't want to tell us
yeah.
how big the shit, because maybe then we would have been like, well, the potential of what it can carry is so much bigger than what we thought. Thousands of pounds
Yeah.
of payload. That's pretty considerable.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk like a couple 100 pounds of solar panels and motor equipment and
Right.
stuff, or surveillance equipment. And then the rest could potentially be explosives, or as that representative said, bioweapons.
Right.
Thousands of pounds of bioweapons is a lot of bioweapons.
Yeah.
And could scatter across more than 15 football
Yeah.
fields.
Yeah. I mean, anything that they're carrying, yes, from bioweapons to nukes to some kind of EMP device. I mean, it could have been catastrophic for sure.
So let's get into what we think. What if it wasn't a Chinese balloon? Because a part of me has to think this wasn't a Chinese balloon. Because again, like I said, we use the weather balloon thing too much to explain things away.
Men in Black. Just as a swamp gas off a weather balloon.
Yeah, look at Roswell. I
Right.
mean, they're still going with the weather balloon narrative for Roswell, and I think it's safe to say that probably wasn't a weather balloon.
Right.
But so whether or not it was China or something else, measuring the response, I think, would be one of the biggest things you could get out of this. Like, China, let's send this over there to gauge the response of the military.
Right.
Well, we fucking failed.
Yeah, right.
Big time.
Yeah.
Because we are like, we don't want to shoot it down because it could potentially hurt somebody on the ground.
Right.
And they're like, well, they don't want to hurt one person, but we could potentially hurt millions of people with our balloons.
Yeah.
Let's say this was a psyop, like government false flag type shit, gauging our responses. Like, how did the people respond to this? Well, their memes were on fucking point, but nobody seemed to really care.
Right.
We did get that redneck out in Montana that climbed up on his old CB tower and tried to shoot it down with his sniper rifle, but don't worry, he didn't get close. Now, again, so much could be gauged just on response time. Like methods of response. Did people freak the fuck out? Did people lose their shit? What if we throw out reports that potentially is a biohazard?
Right.
Oh, people kind of laughed that off. Oh, okay, so they're not going to take that shit serious.
Right.
So much data can just be inferred from response of something so basic as a fucking balloon. Let's just put a big ass balloon up in the sky and just see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, let's see if they notice. How long does it take for them to notice? Oh, it took 2 days to notice a big ass balloon in the sky. All right, let's see how quickly this goes national.
Right.
You know, they're monitoring the social media airwaves and stuff. It's like, all right, Zuckerberg, tell us when this becomes viral. And he's like, all right, it took half a day for the shit to go viral. Okay, that's pretty quick response.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Do they get scared? Do they post memes? Well, the meme to hysteria ratio was heavier on the meme side than the hysteria. We even tried to raise the hysteria by throwing out words like bio weapons and shit.
Comer helped.
Yes. but the memes heavily outweighed the hysteria. Okay, so they're taking mental notes of all this. Anything else you could think that this could potentially be?
Yeah, I mean, unless it was, some third party thing, but again, why would China take responsibility for it? So,
but do we know that China took responsibility?
Well, no,
for
that's
it?
what we're being told, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
our media is telling us that China
Right.
took responsibility
Now,
for it.
what'll be interesting is over break I had read that there's a second balloon that's flying over Latin America now.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's another one found
Yeah.
in Latin America.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that one.
Now, I got this clip. There's potentially more than just Latin America, because here's a map of other balloon sightings. Apparently, there's been sightings in Canada. On February 2nd, was tracking a potential second incident without elaborating in Canada.
Well, Trudeau won't do anything.
Guam, Hawaii, Texas, and Florida alleged incursion by a Chinese balloon, according to the Pentagon. Costa Rica local media reported a balloon sighting on February 2nd. Colombia military reported a possible balloon sighting on February 4th. That could be the same balloon.
Yeah.
But it looks like potentially a balloon. So there's potential 3 balloons here, it looks like. The main one, that one from Alaska down through Canada, down through the United States. Yeah. If you follow kind of a pathway of those dots, the Guam, Hawaii one could have potentially went across Texas and crossed Florida.
Right.
But that's not going to be the same one that crossed Montana.
Right.
Not the same balloon. Then a third one that potentially crossed Costa Rica and into Colombia. But then we possibly have a 4th sighting up here in Canada of a 4th balloon. Now, I don't know. Apparently there's thousands of US balloons that are, because I had seen a thing that was like, such and such company says that this balloon that is being tracked by these people is actually one of ours, not one of China's. It's like, okay, so now we just have all these balloons up there.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like massive balloon wars.
Obviously, balloons are just constantly in the sky, and we should just not
even worry about it.
Yeah,
right?
that's just a normal commonplace.
Just ignore the balloons now.
Right. So what do you think these are legit? I haven't looked into. I just found this.
Yeah, I think so.
This image here.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it almost sounds to me. Yeah, they probably released several balloons, and yeah, they're just kind of sweeping across the globe.
Derek says he's second thought he had was a false flag operation, which is what I thought. But he said the Latin American one has already passed the Caribbean, so it's already gone through Latin America. So but again, is the Latin America one is that the same as the Costa Rica, Colombia one, or was that another one? Like they're who knows? China. I mean, I wouldn't put it past China to set off more than one.
Yeah. Right.
Into various places, not just
the jet stream can be a little unpredictable. You don't know which one's going to end up where.
Yeah, or it's just like, well, we're launching one, we might as well launch 5.
Right. Plausible deniability. Well, we didn't know it was going to go that way. We actually have several that are flying through the area.
See, I don't fucking know. I don't know what to take of all this. I don't know if we should be more concerned or if we're just playing into the hysteria that they're wanting us to play into. I don't know.
Yeah.
Which we're not playing it. We're not hysterical, but there's so many potentials that I didn't know came of a freaking balloon.
Right.
I just had no idea that was even a thing.
But again, this is a fucking 200-foot tall balloon that's carrying a payload of potentially 1,000 pounds.
Thousands of pounds. Potentially thousands of pounds. Yes.
So that's
the
not
size of a
thing.
jetliner. No.
Right. It's not like little Hong sent a balloon with a little message like, hey, if you find this, call me.
Right. Do you think we find out what's on this balloon?
No.
No?
I don't think so. Like I said, maybe 30 years down the road, they'll publish some papers that say something.
Yeah, but it's completely to make up some bullshit to support whatever's going on.
Completely
well, y'all
redacted.
remember this happened 30 years ago when they sent nuclear bombs across on a balloon, and we're like, wait, what the fuck? It's kind of like what we just read with Japan. It's like, y'all remember those fire balloons that were dropped on Oregon, and we're all just like, wait, what? Fire balloons?
Right. Yeah.
What? You didn't tell us about fire balloons.
Right.
Well, yeah, and like 40 years from now, when something else happens, we're like, y'all know, y'all remember those nuclear balloons that flew over that almost dropped nuclear bombs, and we're like, well, I remember the balloons,
right?
But I very much don't remember.
This actually was the first signs of the cloud people taking over our country, our world, and we didn't know how to take it, so we just kind of agreed that it was.
Is there a potential this is UFOs? I mean, we have those really close range images.
Yeah.
But are those legit even? Or are
Right.
those just like something that they
I mean,
posted?
I mean, shit. I mean, if we're going there, I mean, yeah, there's a potential.
This could literally be anything, and the government has
Yeah.
no fucking idea.
No, and again, they won't say. So it'll have to be like Veritas going in and being like, "Well, we looked and this is what we found."
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much I trust Project Veritas
No,
either,
I
though.
know.
Again, they got what they wanted. If it was China's balloons,
I think everybody got what they wanted, right? I mean, they made Biden look weak. They made China look hostile.
but Biden could come out and be like, "Look, we avoided. This
Yeah.
could be his Cuba Missile Crisis moment because we did. If we would have shot
He's
it
been looking
down,
for one of those.
yeah, if we would have shot it down, that could have really caused
Yeah.
some issues. If people died on the ground, people would have. So he could be like, guys, I held the course. I stayed strong,
Right.
true to my gut instinct that we don't shoot this down over the continental U.S. We shot it down. Nothing happened. We avoided. We avoided.
We had lasers trained on it the whole time. If it looked like it was going to act up, we were going to blow it out.
Mhm.
But it was fine.
Yeah, it was fine. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be his shining moment for the
Wouldn't
Republicans.
that be some shit if that? I mean, it's like, oh, we reelected Biden because of his actions during the balloon crisis.
It says Northrop gunmen soon to announce the anti-balloon balloon. It's just a balloon covered in thumbtacks.
Brilliant.
It's like some Mario Kart shit.
Yeah, right.
I mean, this whole thing just seems like a cartoon.
It does. Yeah.
It seems like something like Wile E. Coyote would like
Yeah,
fly
right.
over in a balloon, try to
Yeah.
take out the Roadrunner, and obviously
It's a fucking anvil tied to the bottom of it.
what if there was a maybe that was the 1,000-pound payload was just a big fucking anvil the
Yes.
size of a jetliner.
Yes.
That's it. That's it.
That they didn't want to go there.
Oh man, we learned a lot about balloons tonight. We didn't quite make the 2 hours, but I can keep going. But I feel
Yeah.
like we just
Yeah.
be rambling. I think there is something, and not to keep
It's gonna
rambling,
lead
but
to
I'm
something.
going to keep rambling
Yeah.
because I just had a thought. I think there's something more to this. There's
Yeah.
got to be something more to this. And Derek said he thought initially it was a false flag. I threw out, what
Yeah.
if this is a false flag? There has to be something more to this.
Yeah.
This can't be. I mean, maybe it's just the conspiracy theory in me. This can't be as simple as China flew a fucking balloon over.
Right.
We did nothing, and we eventually shot it down.
Yeah.
There has to be something here. Like, why? There's so many questions. Like, why did we let it get here? Why did we just watch it?
Yeah.
Why did we fucking shoot it down after the fact?
Well, like I said, this is like the G.W. Bush elementary school moment. It's like, why didn't you do something? Why did you let it come into U.S. airspace?
But again, if you're not willing to do something while it's in U.S. airspace, why did we even bother to waste
I
the
know,
munitions to
right.
shoot it down after the fact?
You're right.
Whether it be, well, we just want to show a show of
Yeah.
force here.
It was
We
peer
don't
pressure.
want it to get back to China, maybe, but
Yeah.
it's not like it's saved on an SD card
Right,
and it has
yeah.
to get all the way back.
It's like, oh shit, we were gonna get that videotape out.
Yes. So yeah, it's just like,
Yeah.
if it was something else, well, fucking shoot it down before somebody else finds out what
Right.
we were doing. That's one thought
Yeah.
I have. It's just like, well, it got all the way across the US. It wasn't China, it was us. Now we got to take it out before it drifts into like Russia or
Right.
something. And they're like,
Yeah.
hey guys, did you know this is what they were doing to
Right.
you?
Yeah.
No, we got to take this out now. Mission accomplished. Take that bitch out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the questions that come just because
Yeah.
maybe it's because I'm a conspiracy theorist and I can't just believe a simple ass balloon just
Because
floated over.
we know from history that a simple ass balloon blowing through a country is not anything ever simple.
Derek says Claymore balloons. Claymore balloons. That's what we need. Maybe we just get our minds just have to make something more out of everything. But again, there's just when more questions come out of the mainstream narrative.
Yeah. It's like the Pelosi thing,
Mhm.
right? I mean, it just doesn't add up. So you have to think that there's something else there.
Now, people had thrown out, suggested that maybe I mean, it was just a suggestion, but I don't think there's any proof of this. But that was there any talk about balloon spying on Hunter Biden's laptop, trying to connect more dots than are actually there.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to connect dots that aren't there. I don't want to be like, well, Hunter Biden's laptop probably spells this all out. Yes, there's Chinese connections, but that doesn't mean there's Chinese balloon connections.
Yeah.
Now, the whole bioweapons thing, like, yeah, we can suggest that, but I don't think we should instantly go there. Like, I don't know. I lean more to this probably wasn't there's a good chance this wasn't China at all. Otherwise, I think we would have done something.
What if
about
it was the FBI trying to figure out where all the militia groups are?
That's a possibility.
Yeah.
I mean, Montana would have all kinds of them.
The
Missouri,
Dakotas,
it got into Missouri,
Yeah.
got into North Carolina. I mean, it covered all the redneck
Exactly.
states.
The southeast.
It didn't fly over any like urban
Yeah.
areas that I know of. It flew directly over all the redneck.
Yes.
Like
all the heavy militia states.
Yes, absolutely. So you might be onto something there. Maybe. Well, we'll know where the militia groups are because they're going to be the ones that are trying to fucking shoot down our balloon.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to know right away where the
we're
militia...
collecting the gunshot, the fire from the muzzles.
Yep, that's what it was. It's just the FLIR camera that, remember we talked about, flew over Waco and saw like the muzzle flashes. They just flew a FLIR camera over, engaged where all the muzzle flashes were, and they're like, redneck militia group there and there and there and there and there. Yeah, it is interesting.
Yeah.
Now that you mention it, that it flew over. All the
it is
freaking redneck areas.
Yeah.
And I don't say that disrespectfully.
No, we say that with total respect.
Yes. All the areas I would prefer to live.
Yes.
To be honest with you. So yeah, maybe the Chinese were like, let's gauge the militia groups. I doubt that. I would think if China was spying, they would be, fly over the nuclear place, but also fly over some of the major cities.
Right. Yeah.
And see what's going, because that's where most of the population is. And there's a lot more spying that could be done.
Right.
Like say they're collecting all the cell phone data. Maybe they have some kind of device that picks up, besides TikTok, that picks up all our cell phone data and our cell phone signals. Wouldn't it make more sense to fly over the regions that actually have good cell phone coverage?
Yeah, right.
Versus the places that you have zero bars. I mean, it just logically doesn't make sense. Besides the nuclear facilities, I guess, which apparently hung out around the one for a while.
Yeah, but
the rest of this doesn't make sense. I mean, I guess maybe it's just that's where the wind happened to take it, but it's just bizarre to me that the wind just happened to take it over.
Yeah, unless
less densely populated.
Again, somehow it's tied into TikTok, and it's pulling some kind of data out of the phones that have TikTok.
I don't know
as it flows out. I don't know. I mean, with technology, possibilities are endless, and I'm taking that from Batman.
It's funny with the technology, the possibilities are endless, but we used a balloon.
Yeah, right.
A fucking
right.
balloon.
Yes. But that's because nobody would expect it, right?
Well, we hit our 2-hour mark. We did it.
All right. We knew we could.
We knew we could talk about balloons for 2 full fucking hours. This one's been bizarre. I don't have an answer. I have many more questions, especially I think the fact that they shut it down after the fact.
Right.
That just makes me ask so many more questions.
Yeah, that's the most bizarre part of it.
Right. And
there was no need to.
Yeah, we just allow this to happen and then take it out after the fact. It just it doesn't make a whole lot of fucking sense to me. And why aren't we shooting down the ones over Latin America and shit like that? So I don't know. Final thoughts on the Chinese spy balloon?
I think more information will be forthcoming somehow.
Do you think it will come
maybe
out?
indirectly?
Yeah.
Not from the government, it won't. But indirectly, I think more information will come out.
I was really disappointed by the lack of conspiracy theories that were out there.
Yeah,
though.
you think they'd go bigger.
Yeah. Go big. Go big or go home.
Yeah, definitely. Don't play this conspiracy theory game small.
Do you think this is a preemptive like test run for something bigger? Like, are we going to see 1,000 spy or not spy balloons, but military
I do
balloons?
think it's something bigger, but I don't think it's something bigger from the Chinese.
You don't see them just sending adrift 1,000
No,
bombing
that would be
balloons,
sweet.
war balloons?
I mean, that'd be brilliant, but
That
no,
would.
I don't think that would happen.
I would just be like, good on you.
Yeah, right.
Good on you. You win. Slow clap. You did it. I mean, I got nothing.
Yeah, right.
I can't even be mad. That's brilliant. Take out a country with 1,000 balloons. It's brilliant. Cheap and fucking brilliant.
Right.
I mean, imagine how much we would save on our military,
right?
If we just use fucking balloons.
Right. Who needs a $1 billion stealth fighter?
Right. We need to get out of here. We have well overstayed our welcome. This has been interesting. Let us know what y'all think, your theories, especially if you have a good like false flag conspiracy theory out there, because I want to hear what your opinion is on this.
Yeah.
And I want to hear the most bizarre theories on this Chinese balloon, because that's what helps me sleep better at night. I know, I'm fucking crazy.
The more apocalyptic, the better.
Yes. Let us know. The comment section is always open. We have our Facebook forum, the Breaking the Bell forum, and then I hang out a lot on Twitter. Hit us up with anything, even if you think this is utter bullshit, hit us up with it. Maybe we'll read it on next week's episode, because I want to hear those. Otherwise, check us out all over social media. Share us far and wide across the Twitter versus the Facebook verse, the metaverse. There you go. It's got to be the metaverse.
It's metaverse.
And Instagram. You can find us at our handle at Break the Bell Pod. You can find links to all our social media at our website at breakthebellpod.com. Share it far and wide so we can become famous, because that's what we're here for, is for the fame. Otherwise,
7. We're 7.
We are at a 7, just so you know, in fame. We're almost famous, so just push us over the edge to be completely famous. Yes. Otherwise, be back here for our 2 Scoops morning show, which will be airing tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time, and possibly Thursday morning if I can get Dan to wake his lazy ass up. But I know for sure that we are supposed to be doing it tomorrow, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. That is a nice wake up morning segment with me and Dan Smots of the System Is Down podcast. That's the 2 Scoops morning show. Make sure you join that. Otherwise, be back here next week, same time, same channel, every Monday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Be there. It's always a blast. We'll catch you next time. Have a great rest of your week.
Peace.
Goodbye.
The Break the Bell podcast is brought to you by you. So pat yourself on the back, because without you, we would be talking to ourselves. A special thanks to our Patreon members, Justin Zielinski, Remzo Martinez, Stephanie Parker, and T.O. Jacobson. A shout out to our sponsors, Run Your Mouth Coffee, the On the Run podcast, and Goulash Media. If you'd like to help support us, visit patreon.com/breakthebell or buy our garbage at breakthebell.bigcartel.com. Get back here next week and let us continue to invade your ear holes. And as always, never stop talking.